Le programme suivant sera en anglais.
Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Rabbi israh li sadri wa yassir li amri wa halul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Ya Allah ya ahadu innaka samadu ya rafi'u sama bi khayri amadin salli bi haqqi qul huwallahu ahad ala wasilati nabika al ahad sayyidina Muhammadin wa alihi wa sahbihi fil ali wa fil mahal. Viewers from around the world watching today Lamfal TV. This is Echo from TOUBA, happening every Wednesday, 3 o'clock, in our studio, S.Fallou studio here in Dakar by the VDN. Inshallah, before we start, we are wishing long life to our Khalif, Sheikh Muntaha, of Sheikh Bashir, presiding today, the future of and the president of this community, the Murid community, but also the Khalif of Sheikh Ibrahima Fall, Sheikh Demba Fall. We're wishing also long life to Sheikh Ndigal Fall and also Sheikh Fall Mbawor, but also Sheikh Ngunda Fall of Serigne Ngunda Fall of Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall and all the Baye Fall community. Today we're delighted to have Serigne Baye Demba Sow visiting our studio today. Assalamu alaikum Baye Demba. It's very nice. We're delighted to have you today. Baye Demba, by the way, a member of the Baye Fall community, a disciple of Sheikh Ndigal Fall, very popular in the social media. If you hooked in, the media and stuff, traveling a lot with the Sheikh. Baye Demba graduated in English studies here in Sheikh Anta Diop University. He was a teacher in UK, in England. And also did many youth programs over there, and also work in freelancing, meaning writing and contributing in the society over there in England. Today we're talking about a legend, meaning Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall. It's always, of course, hard to talk about an icon like him, who've done a lot of work in our community. We're going to be coming to that during our conversation, inshallah, with Baye Demba Sow, inshallah. Baye Demba, the first questions, this is in my mind right now and supposed to be, of course, legitimate, is who was Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall?
Yes, thank you, S.Fallou, for having invited us here in the studio.
Inshallah.
We give thanks and praises to the Most High Allah, and we pray on the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We give thanks to Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall Lampa Babu and to Khadim Rasoul. But we give thanks as well to Saint Sheikh, our spiritual leader, who made us who we are. Talking about Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall could be very difficult, but it could be easy as well,
right? Because
it doesn't go outside the frame of Islam. Sheikh Ibrahima Fall was born in 1855 in a province called Touré Atuman, which is in the region of Kajor.
In Kajor region.
Yes, and his father was Semodo Rokhaya Fall, and his mother, Mame Seydou Ndiaye. Sheikh Ibrahima Fall was very well known when he got in touch with Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba Khadim Rasoul, because he had a vision that he got to look for a sheikh that will lead him to Allah. And from that point, he started to look for Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba. And he went to many places and challenged many sheikhs or scholars to see whether he was the one he was looking for. And they met in 1883 in Baké Kajor. And that's the beginning point of really, the relationship between Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba and Khadim Rasoul and Sheikh Ibrahima Fall. And it was, they said they've met on the 4th day in the month of Ramadan, but he actually pledged allegiance on the 20th day of the month of Ramadan.
So he was over there before the allegiance, though he stayed about 2 weeks, right?
Yes. And but when he got to Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, when he got to meet him, Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba did ask him what was his, why did he come?
What he was looking for.
Yes. And Sheikh Ibrahima Fall said that I'm looking for a master that can lead people to Allah. a master that will do all the miracles and charisma of all the prophets that had been sent to mankind from the beginning of creation to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That the master he was looking for would be somebody that will be able to purify people, no matter how dirty they would be. And when he said that to Sheikh Ahmad Bamba, Sheikh Ahmad Bamba said to him that if I knew where Allah was, you wouldn't find me here. And Sheikh Ahmad said to him, I follow the footsteps of Allah until they merge into your being. And I have not seen him pass over your being. And Imam Sheikh Ahmad kept on saying to him, the master that I'm looking for, if you were not from the same generation or from the same time, but I know that he used to walk upon this earth, that he was sheltered by the sky, the moon, the stars, and the sun. I will look, his tomb, and I'm going to be in service to that tomb until the path of Buddhism come alive. And at that point, Sheikh Ahmad said to him, "You are my own reflection."
Right.
Because that was my own desire towards the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If we were not from the same generation or same time, I will dedicate to him until I, got to be had also the servant of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Beautiful. So here you go. He got up to look for a master, like you said, a sheikh. He went different places though to learn, from them, and kind of balance out the spirit, the energy they have, and the great sheikh. That was in Bakke Kajor, exactly, right?
Yes, in 1883.
In 1883.
Yes.
He was pretty young then. He wasn't old.
Yeah.
Since he was born in 1955 or something.
Yeah. I mean,
he must. Right.
Some say that Sheikh Ahmad Bamba, he was. Some say that some sources say that he was 27, and Sheikh Ahmad Bamba was 30. Some others say he was 28, and Sheikh Ahmad Bamba was 31. Because you have to be reminded that Sheikh Ahmad Bamba and Sheikh Bamba have 3 years difference. Because Sheikh Ahmad Bamba was born in 1852, and left us in 1927. Sheikh Ibrahima Fall was born, like I said earlier, in 1855 and passed away in 1930. Yes. And
3 years. And also, we're going to come back to that. He worked for him for 3 years before he got the,
Yeah.
So the number 3 years, though, is something very meaningful in the relationship of Sheikh And here we go. Sheikh Al-Hadim, we just, by the way, we're having Baye Demba Sow visiting us today, graduated, of course, from the University of Sheikh Anta Diop. Sheikh Anta Diop has a relationship with the Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall, I heard.
Yes.
Because his mother
was one of the wife of Sheikh Ibrahima Fall.
Other people didn't know that.
Yes.
Beautiful. And also Baye Demba, also he's the son of the writer, the very prolific writer here in Dakar, in Senegal, Aminata Sow, who wrote La Grève des Batous. There's another one also.
Yeah, La Grève des Batous, Le Revenant. Many
other works on behalf of Aminata Sow. We're saying hi to her and wishing all the best for her and her family as well. So, Baye Demba, here is Sheikh Ibrahima Fall, who came in at 20. I like the number 28 though, which matches the meaning of TOUBA. So we came in at the age of 28 on the 4th of Ramadan, and did the pledges allegiance on the 20th of the same Ramadan year in 1883. How he changed the environment? What was so special with Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall when he came into the first Murid community over there?
Yeah, because like to really Sheikh Ibrahima Fall and Sheikh Ahmad Bamba, one has to understand the teaching of Sheikh Ibrahima Fall, who says, and the Quran relates it to us. When you owe a debt to somebody and he deceased, you must give that debt to their heir. If you can't find any heirs, then it will be legitimate to give that debt to the poor ones. And Sheikh Ibrahima Fall understood that we had a debt towards the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That was to obey his command, the ndigal, and refrain from the prescriptions. But since the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has gone, we own that debt, to the heir of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who are the saints, the awliya. That's very important to understand
This is meaningful.
The line of the continuity. And so Sheikh Ibrahima was looking for the hair of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who got to be Sheikh Ahmadu Bamba Khadim Rasul, and had to conduct himself in the same way the Sahabas had conducted themselves with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which was to obey the recommendation, the comment of the Sheikh and refrain from the prescriptions.
Prescriptions, right.
So that is very important. But before Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall came into the landscape of Senegal, the religious landscape, most people, viewed Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba like a Sheikh Mu'allim, just a teacher, just a teacher of the whole, the liturgical knowledge. And when Sheikh Ibrahima Fall came, he gave to Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba the real place as a Sheikh Murabbi, somebody that can educate the soul. Like I said, what he said to Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba when he went to Makkah Kajor, the one that I'm looking for will be able to take people to Allah. The one
Which
that
was quite rare, though, to hear someone having a speech like that.
Yeah, because if you go to Masalik al-Jinan, Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba tells us that it's easier to know Allah than to know the man of Allah. Right. Because if you meditate about creation between what has been the earth, and the heavens, if you meditate about that, you can believe in Allah.
Absolutely.
But somebody just like you, who eats like you, drinks like you, sleeps like you, deal with society in the same way that you do, you may be misled and not really know what they really represent in the kingdom of Allah.
Right.
That's why Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall said, "Anna Baba Lahi Udahun fi Khulubal Mu'minin." We have the gates of Allah are hidden in the chest of the men of God.
Right.
So if you desire, what is in them, knock at the door of their heart, through, good deeds, and be truthful, sincere when you do that,
right.
And be, have expectation by the grace of Allah.
Mashallah.
And they're gonna, open their heart and
help you out.
Give to you what.
Beautiful. I heard also his brother, named Serigne Saliou Fall, who is, the leader in Darou Khafour, his beautiful village over there by the vicinity of TOUBA, was the first one who found Serigne Touba. Is that true?
He was, they haven't met together.
Right.
He was the first one that was maybe given the revelation that Sheikh Ibrahima Fall had to go and look for.
Okay.
For Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba.
But he haven't met the Sheikh first?
No. Not from my own source, from what I know. But, he had the revelation and told Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba about Sheikh Ibrahima Fall about it. Yes. Beautiful.
And I heard also when Sheikh Ibrahima Fall came into Serigne Touba, he was the 40th person to do his pledge. Yeah. And Serigne Moussa Ka beautifully said in one of his poems, Mantoma yonen bi solal Seydina Abou Bakar, Seydina Omar ak Abou Bakar ma jëkk gëm moom lay solal Ibra Fall bisub texe. Meaning the clothing that Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam will be giving out to Abu Bakr and Umar is the same one, burda, that Serigne Touba will be giving to Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall. That tells you the position of Sheikh Ibrahima Fall to Serigne Touba. We're going to come back to that. But he was the 40th to came in. So there was Mama Gaye, there was Seigne Busso, Seigne Makhtar Touré, many others who were there already doing the work that was supposed to be done in the environment. So come back to how he changed the environment itself. What was the so special on the conduct of this particular
what was special, like I said earlier, the people that preceded Sheikh Ibrahima Fall towards Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba Khadim Rasul, there were students, there were scholars, you understand, and they considered the Sheikh as a Sheikh Mu'allim.
Right.
So Sheikh Ibrahima Fall was not the first to go to Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, but he was the first to pledge allegiance. He was the first to tell them from now on, you will be forbidden to eat from the same bowl as the Sheikh.
Right.
And if you go to the Surat al-Hujurat,
to sit on the same chair.
Yeah.
On the bed.
And this comes from Talibe, you know,
Right.
you go to the apartments in the Quran,
Ujurat,
where he is teaching,
Right, right.
you know, the conduct that you have
Right.
to adopt towards.
Give the Prophet some money
Yeah,
before
yeah.
you ask questions.
Yeah, yes.
You know, stuff like that.
Yes,
Don't stay out and call them out of the door.
Yes, and don't pick, you know, to him in a familiar manner that you speak when you're
Right.
among yourselves.
Right.
You know, and he really reorganized the compound of Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba. From now on, no more familiarity with the Sheikh. No more sharing the food from the same plate.
Right.
You have to bow in front of the Sheikh. You know, you have to speak softly in his presence. You understand? And most importantly, to do the jebulu, the pledge of allegiance. That's where you submit yourself, your life, you know, to the Sheikh.
Right.
You know, and you strive your persons and your wealth in the way of Allah. Sheikh Ibrahima brought that forward.
Beautiful. And also, by Demba, it's very meaningful because when you see in the history of Islam itself, you've seen in Hudaybiyah, you know, when the Prophet was going to Mecca, he sat by the tree and asked them to do allegiance.
Yes.
They were Muslim already. So all of them did allegiance. I even heard there was some Sahabi who didn't do it. Well, he did it, of course, but the Prophet didn't see it. And he told them to go back on the line and redo it. So he made sure he did the allegiance.
Yes.
So we didn't hear from that allegiance, that pact though that was in the desert of Arabia until Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba came in to Mbacke Kadior. So those first people who came in, I mean the disciple, they came in, what did they do though? Since Serigne Touba called them, tell them, if you just want to learn, you know, go back somewhere else. If you want to, you know, do as I want, you know, meaning doing you the tazkir, you know, educating you, you can stay with me. So what was before Mame Sheikh Fall came in? I just want to know, how they do the pledge then? What happened? They just came, okay, I want to do it, Sheikh, and then fine. They kept going, or there was a way of doing it?
Yeah, I mean, they were just learning, basically.
Right.
Like I said, they just considered the Sheikh as a Sheikh Mu'allim, like a teacher. That's it.
Right.
You know, and Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba would knock at their doors early in the morning and tell them, you know, put the fire and learn. And that's when, you know, there's a story of Saint Abdurrahman Damlo who says that he witnessed that. Because he said they used to see Ibrahima Fall only, you know, at dawn when he was coming into the house. And he relating the story where Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba was knocking at the doors to wake up the disciples, the scholars, and tell them, you know, put the fire and get ready to learn. And Sheikh Ibrahima Fall told Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, tell them what brought you here. You know, it's better than what you're, you know, telling them right now.
Right.
And Sheikh Abdurrahman said that he did that the first day, the second day, the third day. But anytime Sheikh Ibrahima Fall tells Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, tell them what brought you here, instead of urging them to learn, he was just not paying attention to Sheikh Ibrahima Fall. But the third day, Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba walked swiftly towards Sheikh Ibrahima Fall. And Sheikh Ibrahima Fall as well came to meet Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, and when they got close, they were just like two magnets, and they just got to be one.
Stuck together, right?
They stuck like that for a little bit. And then Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba took his, you know, kettle, put the water in between. And Sheikh Ibrahima Fall was just right, you know, sitting on the floor. And then, you know, Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba went back to his, you know, yard. But the fourth day, that's when he told the students, those who came for knowledge can go back to their places of origin.
Okay.
But now those who want to have access, want to get to Allah, they can stay with me.
Beautiful.
And now, Sheikh Abdurrahman says that's when he went to ask Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, how can we do if we want to get, you know, to Allah? And Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba sent him to Sheikh Ibrahima and told him, go to Mame Sheikh Ibrahima and ask him about it. So Sheikh Ibrahima told Sheikh Abdurrahman firstly, when we're going to go home, you know, you're going to go do the Janab ablution. Then you're going to cut your hair, you know, as if you go to pilgrimage. And then we're going to go together to the Sheikh. Because, you know, to be able to do that, the first step will be Jebulu, you know, to pledge allegiance.
Beautiful.
And you will come with me and do as I do. So when they went to Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, before they got to Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, Mame Sheikh Ibrahima crawled towards Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba. Sheikh Abdurrahman Damlo did the same. He greeted him with some gift. He did the same. And he said to him, tell him, I pledge allegiance to you in this life and the next. And I shall do as you order me, and I'm going to listen from what you forbid me.
Right.
Yeah, so Jebulu, because Islam,
right,
Islam,
right.
Islam too, Islam
Aslama.
means, yeah, Islam
yourself.
is a pledge of allegiance.
Absolutely. That's the sense of Islam.
And it's really important that you mentioned Udaybiyah, because, you know, there's a character of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that is very humble, very
He
soft,
can go
very,
out and tell the people
and
who he
people,
is.
Yeah, and people didn't really know who he was. You know, and when they were getting back to Mecca, and they go to Udaybiyah, that's where Allah said to them, now you're going to stay in Udaybiyah. And some of the Sahaba, they were vexed. They didn't want to stay. They said, why do we stay here? Now we are very strong, we have, you know, we have power, we can go
right.
and just get Mecca. And that's what Allah, you know, send Najib and tell them, how can you have weapons? Say you're going to fight against the enemy when the biggest enemy in you can't fight him down, which is vanity.
You are jihad enough.
Yes. Yeah. And you're even like contesting the comment of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that's when that happened. The Sahaba got together, because it's very important to understand. You know, Sheikh Abdul Ahad Mbake said, you know, the Sahabas are our fathers in Islam.
Right, he said that. Right.
You hear me? They are fathers in Islam. And even though, you know, they say do as they command you to do, but they've never ever done anything that is forbidden. They never get close to anything that, you know, Allah forbids. And even Sheikh Ahmad says, so, you know, I've always commanded Sheikh Mahfuz, but I never ever forbid him anything.
Right.
Because he will never be. Yeah.
Right.
So they come together and say, but, you know, Islam says that Muslim will go to heaven, but some will go to hell. So let's go to the Prophet and tell him that we would like, you know, to trade our life, our person, our wealth, so he can ensure a heaven. Istara al-Mu'minina.
Right.
And that's why. And when they went to say that to the Prophet didn't have really say, I didn't have an answer. And Allah sent Sayyidina Jibril and said, tell them, Allah accept. Tell them to do the Jebulu, Islam.
To allegiance.
Yeah, to play allegiance to him. And when they play allegiance to him, they, you know, let them, you know, kiss his hand. You know, it's like when you sign a contract with anybody, after you sign the contract, you greet each other.
You shake someone's hand.
You know, from history we say that Sayyidina Abu Bakr was the first one who did it. Then Sayyidina Ali. Sayyidina Usman was not there, but the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Right, he was in Mecca.
Yeah, did it for him and raised his hand to say that he was putting his hand on the hand of Allah, because Allah says, who put their hands on the hands of the Prophet, you know, put their hands
on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah, you're right. I mean, even it's like that story, that side of the Islamic story has been forgotten in the Islamic community lately, though. It's like a revival Sheikh Ibrahima did in that particular
and Sheikh Ahmad Bamba
in Baki Kajor.
the same, you know, Sheikh Ahmad Bamba and Sheikh Mahfuz, these are two entities as one. Because you remember Sheikh Ahmad Bamba said, I haven't created a tariqa, a brotherhood. I've only seen the path that has been taken by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Sahabas all spoiled, all in ruins, and I came and rehabilitated, and I called the people to Allah.
Beautiful story.
That's
right.
that's the story.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
that's what he says.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's the same with, you know, what had been forgotten in Islam.
You know,
back. That's what Sheikh Mahfuz and
absolutely. I remember, we're having again Baye Demba Sow, graduate of English Studies in Sheikh Anta Diop University, being our guest today. Really, always a pleasure to talk about an icon, a human being that really has done a lot for this great Sheikh Al-Khadim, Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba Khadim Rasul, meaning Sheikh the unmatchable Sheikh Ibrahima Fall in our community. Of course, I remember Serigne Sam saying one day the Prophet was talking about other prophets, like he talked about Musa. He said nobody's like Musa on the day's resurrection. He talked about Isa ibn Maryam, like nobody's like Isa ibn Maryam. And the Sahabi was like, what is going on? Why he never talk about himself? One day also he talked about another prophet. And lately they were kind of tired. They came to him and tell him, okay, so how about yourself? And then he couldn't raise his head. He was like looking down. And he said, oh, seriously, from Adam to now, until the resurrection day, I'm the best person that Allah never will send. And that same situation happened to Serigne TOUBA when he was in Jurbel. I heard that was even in Muharram. He was talking about, you know, the trials of the prophets. Prophet Musa has this problem. Prophet Isa on Muharram. Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall, I heard, was sitting on, you know, on the edge of the, you know, the assembly. And then he came up and said, Serigne Touba, it's really enough. Talk about yourself now. Those people had their people and they left. Talk about your people. You see the you know, how, you know, these two communities really look alike. Also, talk about Sheikh Ibrahima Fall. One step, I mean, Mbake Kajor was one step.
The cradle of Buddhism.
Right. And beautiful. By the way, we are saluting also Serigne Babacar Mbao,
yes,
who is in Mbake Kajor, doing a tremendous work though. That's how Baye Fall really means though, how community work, helping children, women, you know, women's fragile in Africa. So if you put your energy to help them, it's meaningful. Children also opening some agriculture space, you know, doing a lot of stuff though in Bakajor. So we're really saluting Serigne Babacar Mbao, who've done it in many places though. So how long they stayed in Mbake Kajor before we moved to the next step?
You know, Mbake Kajor in 1883.
Right, right.
Now it's important to understand that they went to Dar es Salaam in 1888 because Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, you know, anytime he had, you know, his offsprings, they wouldn't stay long in this life. So one day Mame Sheikh Fall went to him and said to Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, I have seen a place, if you go there, your family is going to stay in this life for long. And 32 children of the Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba offspring passed away before Muhammad Mustafa Mbake came to life. 32 children. Right. Sheikh Fall said to Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, there's a place, if we go there, your family is going to stay for long. Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba said to Sheikh Fall, where is that land? That's the first time ever Sheikh Fall went ahead of Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba. I mean, like he will go till the, you know, like for let's say 2 meters, 5 meters, and get back behind him, and say that's like the way.
Running around on the Sheikh.
Yeah, because he want to show him the way, and he doesn't want to be ahead of him.
In front of him, right?
Okay. And they did that. They did that, and they get in Dar es Salaam in 1888. No, 1886. In 1886. So 1886. 1887, 1888, you know, in the months of the Tamkharit, that's why Sheikh Muhammad Mustafa Mbake was born. In 18, and then in the same months of the Kasura Jabin, that's where Sheikh Muhammadu Fadilu as well was born, and Sheikh Basir. So these are the 3 years, we're talking about the 3 years of Tarbiyah of Sheikh Ibrahima Fall. It could be considered the 3 years from 86 to 88 in Dar es Salaam. In 1888, that's when Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall went to Saint Louis and settled in a place called Ganjol,
right.
in Tasner. Yes.
Okay, that's beautiful. And also, like you said, he was going to look for, I mean, the place where Serigne Touba could stay. But before that, there's the part of Mbake, because when they left Mbake Kajor, they came to Mbake, and in Mbake there was the family of Serigne Touba over there, and I heard there was some problems between him and the community because, you know, his approach, the way he's living Islam was a little bit of problem. Can you tell us about the environment in Mbake before we go to...
In general, in Islam, you know, because Sheikh Ibrahima Fall is very kind of atypical.
Right.
I mean, Baye Fall in the way they live Islam.
Right.
Yet, you know, these are like the 2 feet, the right and the left.
Right.
You know, there's the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam who talks about that man that spent a lot of time worshipping in the masjid, in the mosque. And when the Prophet went to that place, they say to the Prophet, this man is a real good man.
Right.
You know, he spent all his time
worshipping. At the mosque, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked, but who feeding this man? And they say, his wife, she works miles away to bring her food. He said, indeed, he is a good man, but she's a better woman.
Right.
That woman is Baye Fall in Islam.
Right.
The Baye Fall.
And he said also the hand which is up, always the hand of the one who asks all the time. Right.
Yeah, because you know, Sheikh Mame Fall. Firstly, he was atypical in the way he dressed, that people were not kind of used to. You know, somebody who carry, you know, locks,
Threats.
you know, wear raggedy clothes. You understand? Somebody doesn't pray 5 times a day, neither does he fast. You know, that was something people didn't know.
Right.
Somebody who follow a man just like him. People didn't believe in that.
That was new in Senegal.
No. There were no Murids before Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall came. When he came to Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, the Murids started. There were nobody that would, you know, would devote their life to a sheikh. Right. You know, with their persons and their wealth. That only happened when Sheikh Ibrahima Fall did it.
Absolutely.
That nobody that would give to the sheikh, you know, his real place and the respect that and reverence that he has to be given to him. That happened with Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall.
Beautiful. And he did it in a beautiful manner. And this is Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall, who left now Mbacké and Darussalam, and they went to TOUBA with Sheikh Al-Khadim, because TOUBA was founded in 1888, right? Yes. Okay, and then and I heard a couple of years later, because he worked in 3 years, so meaning in 1990, for instance, when Serigne Bara was born, Serigne Touba called them and tell them, this son who is just born, Serigne Bara, 28th of Jumada, he brought to you the contentment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, your divine agreement. So what happened after he got it from Serigne Touba with Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall? Where did he went? Or he stood with Sheikh Al-Khadim?
Yeah, Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall have his own settlements. And anytime Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba will need him, you know, he will, you know, do the work. Right. You know, that was that kind of link that they have. Right. Yes.
So he after he got the contentment, the agreement from Serigne Touba, he moved to St. Louis. I think St. Louis was his
St. Louis was in 1888. He settled over there. Right. So Sheikh Ibrahima Fall was in St. Louis 7 years before Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba was to go to St. Louis in 1895. Because that's as well a mystical part of the relationship between Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba and Sheikh Ibrahima Fall. Wherever Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba was to be taken, Sheikh Ibrahima Fall will precede him and kind of clear
the groundwork.
Yeah, do the groundwork.
Beautiful. Yeah. And St. Louis was like the elite, though, where you have the brightest brains in Senegal.
A lot of things
were over there, right?
Yeah,
Mame,
Seigne
Kamara. Yeah. By the way, assalamu alaikum to Seigne Abdoulaye Kamara, a friend of a sheikh of mine, as well, living in Guédiawaye, disciple, a sheikh of Serigne Saliou Mbacké. His great grand also is Mame As Kamara, who's also doing beautiful work in Guédiawaye, helping youngsters, also learning, doing tarbiya and beautiful, inshallah Rabbi, disciple of Serigne Saliou Mbacké. So St. Louis, again, he came over there, you know, did the work. He's very popular. The big brains were there. Tell us about his relationship with the people he found, Serigne Mame, all these, Sijaj Malik Sy.
Yeah.
They all were there, right?
Yeah, Sheikh Ibrahima Fall was,
I'm sorry.
You know, Sheikh Ibrahima Fall was very open-minded. He was very gentle, very gentle, very elegant. Right. Very polite, very well educated. You know, so when you have those characters, you know, definitely you're going to attract the friend as well as the enemy. So he has a very good relationship with the spiritual leaders, you know, Muslim spiritual leaders, as well as even the French.
Non-Muslims, right?
Even the non-Muslim. He was very respected by the French colonizers, authorities. And it's very important as well to underline that. It's true you know, Sheikh Ibrahima Fall, that Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba was brought back to Senegal from Gabon. Because he spent a lot of money, a lot of contact, you know, with the French authority.
Convincing them he didn't do nothing,
so
right?
they can, you know, check the file of Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba. So he was the key element, you know, to have Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba brought back here in Senegal. So he was very intelligent. He was, you know, I mean, like most people think, yes, Baye Fall is somebody that is ignorant or illiterate. You know, that's not the case. Or like I say, otherwise, Sheikh Ibrahima Fall would have not have written a book called Jazbul Murid.
Absolutely.
In St. Louis.
In St. Louis. We're going to come back to Jazbul Murid, though.
So how can somebody illiterate or...
can do that.
Can do that. Somebody that is illiterate, you know, with, you know, they thought he was just a force of nature that only could do hard work, but not any work that kind of require intellect. That was not true.
That's impossible. Well, by Demba, I think we're going to have many more programs because this is a lot. Because if we talk about St. Louis, there's different places though that are involved with Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall. There's Thiès, there's Gébu Fall, there's Njaareem in Kër Cheikh. There's many more places though. I think you cannot fit. We cannot fit all these beautiful stories in 1 hour. But if you talk about Cheikh Al Khadim though, there's this really date that is outstanding in the story of the history of Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, the exile. Imagine the link between these two personalities, how the great love, Hokal Buka, that love Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall has on Serigne Touba. And all of a sudden, Serigne Touba is taken away on exile. How Sheikh Ibrahima Fall lived those days?
Now, there are some stories, that it's very important in Islam, in Muridism, to make a difference between what they call mystic and the myth. A lot of myth had been created in the path of Muridism. A lot of myth where, for instance, people will tell you, yeah, Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall used, to make the children, the newborn baby, the animals to fast. This is a myth. It's never ever existed.
That have nothing to do with mysticism.
No, mysticism. Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba and Sheikh Ibrahima Fall. Because I'm telling you, when Sheikh Ibrahima Fall was looking for Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, but Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba himself was looking for Sheikh Ibrahima Fall. Because he knew that the mission would not be complete without Sheikh Ibrahima Fall.
Absolutely.
And to make that point, like when Sheikh Ibrahima Fall was in TOUBA, Dakar, there was a Sheikh called Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba Silla. Because he was looking for Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba. Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba then sent Sheikh Matar Touré and Sheikh Adama Gaye and gave them books and tell them, go and give it to Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba Silla. But in fact, he wanted Sheikh Ibrahima Fall, to get to him.
Right.
That's why when Sheikh Ibrahima Fall met Sheikh Matar Touré and Sheikh Adama Gaye.
How? By the scent though? I heard you.
Yeah, it's like, it's like, for instance, if you wear any perfume, if you wear, like Vetiver Guerlain, people who knows perfume say,
This is a Guerlain, right?
Yeah, it's the same.
Right.
Sheikh Ibrahima Fall had that with Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba. So when Sheikh Ibrahima Fall saw them, then he went them to Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba. But when they got to the compound of Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, he was waiting outside the compound. But and Sheikh Adama Gaye, when they were talking to Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, about the era, Sheikh Ahmadou, when he left Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba Silla.
Okay.
Right. And when we Sheikh Adama Gaye and Serigne Matar Touré to Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba Mbacké, when they got there, Sheikh Ibrahima Fall was waiting outside. And Sheikh Adama Gaye and Serigne Matar Touré went to tell them, we went to Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba Silla and gave him the books. But they didn't mention that Sheikh Ibrahima Fall was outside.
Right.
And Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba himself asked them, didn't you come with somebody? They say no. They had forgotten about him.
Right. Because of his appearance.
Yeah. But when he kind of insisted, they say, yeah, we came with somebody. So this is very, crucial.
Because I heard on the way, though, he was doing some kind of strange stuff, though. Heading on top of a tree, fell down and said, okay, this is the desire of the one I'm going and I haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, he was
acting like a little bit...
charisma,
right.
He did a lot of charisma,
right.
even in Saint Louis,
Right, he's a very mystical person.
Yes. And then, the fact that Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba was asking, didn't you come with somebody? That's what he wanted. Sending Sheikh Matar Touré and Sheikh Adama Gaye to Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba was just, a pretext.
Right, a pretext, right.
Yeah. So, but they were both looking for each other, and they both knew that's the mission. And Sheikh Moussa Ka relayed that to us. When Sheikh Ahmadou asked, where are you from? Sheikh Ibrahima Fall revealed himself to him. Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba told him about himself.
What happened to him?
And they went together.
So there was a scapegoat, though, just to send those people to get Sheikh Ibrahima Fall back to him.
So to come back to your question,
right, which is why the feeling of Sheikh Ibrahima Fall on that particular time of
exile. It was of course it's not easy when you have your beloved, but you have to understand in terms of mysticism, time and space doesn't really matter.
Right.
And how many times and years between the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Khadim Rasul and Da'ani li Ahmadi Nabi Hubbu Zalihi, Da'ina ila Mali Nabi Hubbu Zalihi. The love is something that is very concrete. But Sheikh Ibrahima Fall as well understood that the very departure of Sheikh Demba would be the prophecy. TOUBA liman barahami atarabiyata badal.
Absolutely.
So this was the savior. This was what, it
was predicted.
They came to save mankind.
It was a mission.
Yes.
So
but it's never easy to depart, from your beloved. But there's a deeper.
I heard there was a very strange day though, the day he took the boat here. And then one of the last person he spoke to was Mame Sheikh, of course. And TOUBA told them to go back to work. And he's big.
I'm going.
And also, again, Saint Demba, son of Miss Aminata Fall, the writer, the prolific writer though, who did a lot of work in Senegal, many work she's been doing for a long time though. Very happy to have his son though, very alhamdulillah, saying nice stuff about our religion, Islam, but also our special way, the Baye Fall way. Salam also to the Khalif of the Baye Fall community, once again, Sheikh Jimbo Fall, and also the family of S.Fallou Fall, S.Fallou Fall, and all the Baye Fall community that are in TOUBA, and also disseminated right now throughout the world. And when TOUBA was exiled, I heard also most of the big, disciple who were with him had a lot of troubles also with the authorities. Even Mame Sheikh was asked to live in St. Louis and to settle somewhere else called Jara, Jara area. Tell us about that story though.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, the Baye Fall don't conform to the French authority, because you have to understand that the French authorities as well, what they wanted is to to westernize us, to teach about all those their values, to Christianize us. That's what it's very important to understand that it was not just only,
said that. If there wasn't Saint TOUBA, we're all going to be Westerners, and then we're going to go to hell. Yeah.
And that's it's very important to underline that. And it was not just the French authority. Sheikh Mustafa Mbake, Ibnu Sheikh Mbake Gaynde Fatma, wrote a book called The Trilateral Conspiracy. The Vatican, the French, and the British Empire. So it was like a coalition fighting Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba.
It's bigger than we think.
Much bigger than that.
Right.
And Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba had given to us, at Mame Sheikh Ibrahima, they had given us our true personality, our true integrity as Africans.
Absolutely.
And you were talking about Sheikh Ahmadou, Sheikh Anta Diop, who said, I have a dilemma, because I see two religions that are disputing Africa. And I'm afraid if one wins, Africa will be westernized or Christianized.
Which one he meant?
The Christian one.
Right.
And if the other one wins, Africa will take the tradition of the Middle East. That was his dilemma. And Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba and Sheikh Mafar had solved that dilemma, where you can be a Muslim without having to take the tradition.
Your own culture.
Yes.
Culture and religion is totally different stuff.
Yeah, people have to know and understand that.
Even when I said, I'm going to correct myself here though, when we say Westerners or Nasaran, it doesn't mean white. Because there's white that are good Muslims, good Talibans. It's
a system.
Right. It's a behavior. It's a system. There's some black people who are Nasaran. There's white people who are Nasaran. There's some white who are much better Talibans than some black people, of course. To correct myself a little bit on that. Okay, here we go by Demba with Sheikh Ibrahima Fall in St. Louis, how he changed, the way, really heading to the allegiance thing, bringing back Odebia. Now, can you tell us about his influence now on our community? What his legacy, what we've learned from Sheikh Ibrahima Fall, the Murid community right now?
Yeah, I mean, Sheikh Ibrahima Fall used to say, "Sama yoon bi ku ci sey lu ko ne da nga ci njaalo." If you don't pledge allegiance to my way, you're still going to fornicate with my way. You're still going to touch my way.
Right.
I mean, meaning that in Senegal and elsewhere, all different tariqas where, the different sheikhs are respected, are given the reference that they deserve, are given, you know, a pious gift from their talibe. That was taught by Imam Sheikh Imam Fall.
Absolutely. Right. That is in the Quran too.
Yes.
Right.
But he really brought it forward because he said in Gebu Fall, you know, the path that Sheikh Ahmad and I had brought forward was not something that was not recommended by Allah.
Unknown, right.
But there was nobody that can teach that way
right.
to the people.
Right.
Yeah, because TOUBA li abdi muridin salihin lahum bi khidmatin aw hubin aw adiyati. And you go to tu'minuna billahi wa rasulihi tujahiduna. So this is something that was recommended by Allah a long time ago.
And also, even Serigne Touba said, "Hafiztu ma sina an dafatiri, wala takun an khidmati bi fatiri." What is in me, go and work for me, because I know I have knowledge that is not in books. So it's like Sheikh Ibrahima Fall understood pretty much that you know, part of Serigne Touba and the great work.
Because he understood that you know there was a way of Islam. If you go to Gebu Fall, he said that. You know that the hypocrites have mingled with the Muslim. You know, in the 5 daily prayers. You know, in the whole in the Ramadan. And they themselves has established a way without knowing the prayer conditions. Because you know, and the Hadith Qudsi says, you know, how can you worship me when you don't know me? So know me before you worship me.
Right.
Yes, that's a prayer condition. And Sheikh Mafal said the hypocrites had already settled away in worshipping with just vain words. And that's when I talked to Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, and I said to Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, tell them the truth so they can hear it, and I will manifest the truth so they can see it.
Because Islam without mysticism is pretty much not a religion, right?
Yes.
And then a murid meaning a goal, going from point A to point Z, you know? So it's a run, a movement that has to be done in terms of having tazkir and going somewhere. And you cannot do that without the tazkir. That's exactly, I think, what Sheikh Ibrahima Fall accomplished.
Because it's easy to stand by, it's easy to go to any masjid and stand next to somebody and pray.
Absolutely.
But is it easy to give what you desire the most? Are you ready to sacrifice your wealth?
Your own self.
And your own self for the sake of Allah? That's the question.
That's another story. That's another story. Okay, of course, by Demba, I mean, we wanted to talk about Jazbul Murid, but I don't think we're running out of time, of course. We have about 10 or 5 minutes left, though. I think we're going to take another day and talk about Jazbul Murid, inshallah, the state of Gebu Fall. You kind of translate books, though, of Serigne Touba yourself. Tell us about your, tell us about your, I mean, what kind of books you're translating right now, and what inspired you to translate books of Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall?
I'm very happy that you asked that question because I find that in Senegal there's a lot of talk, and I've been blessed to travel with Serigne Cheikh Ndigal Fall over 25 years between Europe, Asia, America, the Caribbean, and I've met a lot of people. And when you talk about Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba or Sheikh Ibrahima Fall, the first thing they will ask you is, where can I have a book on him? Where can I read about it?
A lot of people are even surprised that he wrote, though. They didn't even know his writings.
Even in Senegal, people will be, some people, like I said, they think that Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall was illiterate.
No kidding.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like they say, it's the cornerstone that the builder refused.
Absolutely.
You understand? So I think it's very important that we should write, even for the generation to come.
Right.
You know, and Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, Midadi Ahlami, he wrote 7 tons of Hasidah. So I believe that the Murid should be the most prolific writers.
Absolutely.
In all different languages.
Right.
Like Sheikh Moussa Ka, Lak Yepayem, why Bijongi Muhammad Rasulullah Batin was
Safkharam. You're right.
All the languages are equal. But any language that
it's just tools, though. You know,
it's a tool, where the name of the Prophet is spoken is full of esoteric meanings.
Absolutely.
You understand? So I feel that as traveling in different parts of the world, I realize that the Murids are kind of very close. If you go to a lot of daira, you know, they can, you know, like recite Jasbu, you know, Mawaibu, drink coffee, you know, eat chebujan, and that's it. But most people outside don't feel interested because they don't feel part of it. You know,
it's like they sing a culture. What happened?
I think it's just, we are just close, very close.
No, we're not open-minded.
We are not open-minded And it's for us to get the message across.
Sheikh Ndigal Fall is doing a beautiful task on that.
Yeah,
though,
for
traveling. Because
yeah.
I've seen his disciples in Germany, in a lot of countries though, and see how they approach him. They like him a lot.
Yeah, since Sheikh Ndigal even speaks now like English, and French, because he's open-minded, just like Sheikh Ibrahima Fall was.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And I believe that we have to take the path of wisdom to a next level. In the intellectual level, where the books can go to all the great universities.
But don't you think on that, universities has a role to play? Because we have a community here in Senegal, people, all they like is to hear stories of Serigne Touba, of Sheikh Ibrahima Fall. But still, we're not teaching all these stories in universities.
Yeah, because part of it is the system again. We are talking about the system, like we are still alienated by the French way of teaching. I mean, it's still surprising that in Senegal, nobody teach about Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba or the greatest, the greatest African leaders here and spiritual leaders. It's all about, their stories, But it's for us to change the.
So how's the message is doing right now abroad? Are they accepting the message of because I've seen though, I'm going to ask you straight questions here, because I've seen a lot of Baye Fall going teaching the work of Serigne Touba, but I think it's a lot of people, European, thinking this is the Rastafari stuff, not understanding this is a spiritual line of Islam, not something that has to do with some kind of a Jamaican culture. Isn't it true what I'm saying right now?
I mean, it's debatable, Like me, I've been to Jamaica in '96, but when they saw me, they knew that I had nothing to do with Rastafari.
Right.
But I think it's our responsibility to teach the people, to teach those who don't know. You understand? And once they are taught, they will know. Like the Sheikh says, nobody dislikes you or hates you, but they just don't know you.
Right.
So it's our responsibility to teach the people so they will know.
Right. So you having that sense from your mother, though, since she's a writer?
I would say so, I mean, but that's something I've learned, and I feel like it's my duty. And I've been working on a lot of books of the Sheikh, because I want that to be accessible, because there's no sweetest taste than Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall that has to be, shared with, mankind all over the world. Yes.
I heard also there's a book, Quranic book, that was written by Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba himself, and that book was heralded by Sheikh Ibrahima Fall. What happened to that book? I heard you have a copy of that from Sheikh Ndigal Fall. I don't know if I can say that on TV though.
Yeah, it's true.
Right. What happened? Tell us the story about it.
Yeah, this is the Quran, Tafsiru Jalalaini.
Okay.
That was translated by Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba Khadim Rasoul, and he gave it to Mame Sheikh Ibrahima Fall. And since Sheikh Ndigal Fall did, have it printed in Italy and gave it to all, the main sheikhs, here. And many people didn't believe that Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba had done a tafsir. Yes.
So you still have a copy?
Yeah, I do.
You're going to promise me I'm going to have one of those?
I hope so, inshallah.
You said that on TV now.
Yes.
Inshallah Rabbi. That's beautiful though. Again, by Demba, not always, not enough to talk about Sheikh Ibrahima Fall, who's done a lot in this community though, helped know Sheikh Al-Khadim. I don't think without him, we wouldn't have anything on Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, who had a very special work in our community here in Senegal. Himself who said, Ijal rujui ila khawmi sa'adatana, wal takfina yawm al-jami khalkhirina, khalkhin nirana. So because of Serigne Touba, we really get out of hell or something else like that. By Demba, we finishing the program right now. It's impossible for me to talk about my namesake, Serigne Fallou, and Sheikh Ibrahima Fall. And tell us at the end of the show the relationship between these two personalities.
I mean, the deepest thing I will tell you now. Since Sheikh Ndigal Fall, we went to Marseille, because when Serigne Fallou went to Mecca, they stopped in a Marseille. They had a stop because they took the ship to go to Mecca.
Right. And it was Serigne Fallou, Serigne Mbake Bousso.
And when Serigne Fallou Mbake was there, he sent a telegraph to Sheikh Ibrahima Fall and asked him to send him some finances because he wanted to buy books in Marseille. That's very deep. It's like, if you imagine around that time, now people send Western unions from all over the world here to Senegal, but Sheikh Ibrahima Fall sent it to Serigne Fallou. That's one thing. And now the hotel where they were in Marseille is now a bank. Yes. The other thing is, if you want to search for Serigne Fallou Fall, son of Sheikh Ibrahima Fall that went to the World War.
Right.
You have to. He went under the name of S.Fallou Mbake. Yes.
How come?
Because S.Fallou Mbake was supposed to go. Sheikh Ibrahima Fall say, how can my Fallou be here and S.Fallou Mbake go to the war? So he went with the name of S.Fallou Mbake, S.Fallou Fall. If you're looking for S.Fallou Fall on the archives, you wouldn't find him under the name of S.Fallou Fall, but S.Fallou Mbake.
I heard also somebody went for Saint Mustafa and Saint Bara went for, you know, the sons of Saint TOUBA. That's deep.
Yeah,
though.
because Saint Senegal did a lot of research, you know, about S.Fallou Fall because, you know, we don't know where he was. And that we knew that if you want to look for him, you know, it's going to be under the name of S.Fallou Mbake. So that's very deep. It was a very deep.
They were very close though.
Yeah.
How about the Minare?
And I heard that when S.Fallou, you know, came to life, Sheikh Fall when he was just and he said, "Don't forget me," and that "Don't forget me" brought, you know, the
Lamphal Minare of the Mosque of TOUBA.
Yes.
Beautiful. Time is up, Baye Demba. It's beautiful to have you, a nice conversation talking about Sheikh Ibrahima Fall though. What's going to be your last word? Your salam alaikum to the sheikhs and
well, jërëjëf Sëñ Cheikh Ndigal Fall ibnu Baye Go. Jaajëfati kullu Baye Fall, kullu murid. Mashallah. Barke Mame Cheikh Ibrahima Fall.
Mashallah.
Yes.
So again, we'll do it in 2 weeks though, but before we leave, thanks to my Sheikh, Sheikh Murtada, Ibn Sheikh Abdul Ahad Mbake, and all the Sheikhs community over there in TOUBA, Saint Mustafa of Sheikh Abdul Khader, or Saint Mustafa of Saint Salihu Mbake, and many others also living in TOUBA right now. That was a pleasure again to have talk about someone in the Baye Fall community. I hope you're going to come back, and then because there's a lot more we can, you know, theorize and talk about, inshallah, concerning Sheikh Ibrahima Fall. Thank you for watching, and you can follow us also on Facebook if you want. Don't forget to like that page though. All these videos will be uploaded, inshallah, on YouTube and all the channels in multimedia, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. That was beautiful to have you. That was nice. Hope you're going to come back, inshallah. You're definitely sitting to That was nice. Thank you.